In today's 2 episodes, we're introduced to the dual spirit known as Ori, whom wants Dahlia to abandon her deck because they said so. As well, we get to learn Elena Valentina's backstory, in whom she reminds us a very valuable lesson. Just because you had a rough past doesn't mean you get to be an asshole in the present. Pack your bags, everyone, because we're taking a trip to Synchro, or as Spooky calls it, the worst episode of the series, because it was made in a rush. Have any of you seen Dahlia? She sort of disappeared ever since yesterday's duels. No, and quite frankly, I don't care to. If the loss affected her that hard, let her cry about it. Well, thanks for the input, Blake. Elena? I haven't, no. I'm starting to get concerned. You and me both. We should start a search. You all do whatever you want. I'm going to observe the students at this academy. Weak, mid-weak. Alright, you look around the courtyard, Elena. I'll explore the halls. Alright, we'll meet her in an hour if we don't find her. We'll call if one of us finds her. Or meet her here, I guess. Okay, please be careful, Dahlia. We then find Dahlia's corpse, in which... No, maybe in Resurge, but not in Era. Oh, wait. Yeah, unfortunately this episode was made in a rush just to get out in time. Yeah. This is why you don't give yourself deadlines, people. Yes, they can be a challenge to reach that deadline, but also... You're just giving yourself more stress, and you got enough of that in real life. Don't add it to it in a silly Yu-Gi-Oh show. Unless the Yu-Gi-Oh show is your job, but that's another story entirely. Anywho. So, you're my dual spirit? Just put a censor bar over Ori. Yes, I am. My name is Ori. Okay, so, next question. Why are you a floating energy ball thing? I'm supposed to put a voice on. To put it simply, I have not manifested yet. Manifested? You are not using the deck I belong in. So long as you keep using that crown deck, I will never fully materialize. Manifest, whatever. I honestly do not know why you use them, when the deck I can grant you far exceeds it. Joke's on you, we never find out what that deck is. Well, my crown decks have been with me through thick and thin. I got them from my mom. It's like that, huh? Very well then. I will remain in your soul. Wait, no, I said get out! But when you're ready to let me and my brothers and sisters in, I'll be here. I did like how Resurge Chapter 2 took that in a better route. We're just like, no, it's just that the decks don't jive with her. Abandon my crown deck? I could never. Because in this, it's just like, hey, get rid of your deck. Why? I said so. In the remake and Resurge, it's essentially, the decks don't flow together. Happy birthday, sweetie. I got you something. Really? Come on, Mommy. What is it? Tell me, tell me, tell me! Okay, sweetie. Here you go. It's Dolce Tiramisu from the... Is this? Your very own Duel Monsters deck, sweetie! They call it Crown. It's a Synchro and Xyz deck, and they're a bunch of fierce soldiers. Knights and dragons from a distant, powerful kingdom. Based on what's happening in Resurge and I know behind the scenes, Oops. That's so cool! I can't wait to duel with them! I'll cherish them forever! They would not give Xyz, let's just say. You know, Dahlia, with a deck like that, you'll become as great a duelist as your mom. I will? Of course! That is what everyone is counting on. Before you know it, you'll get even more wins than her. Oh, my little girl is becoming just as great a duelist as me? Oh my, that would be lovely. Yeah. So I need to win a lot in order to make my family happy, huh? Well, that didn't get abandoned. I just gotta keep winning. A good win wins. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Dahlia! Where have you been, dum-dum? We were worried sick. Well, Blake wasn't, but Quinn and I were. Oh, well, it's good that you were worried, but why are you hugging me, and why did you tackle me into a hug? There's no hug model. Because I was worried, and you probably needed a hug. You're sad, right? Otherwise you wouldn't shut yourself off from us suddenly. Well, can we talk about it? We can talk about it. Can we get up first? Hey, we're on the ground, that's why. So what's up? Why are you being such a sad little gummy bear, Dahlia? It's just Blake. What they said at the end of our duel. Oh, that whole thing of you dueling. It's just about whining. Ugh. Dueling is just not fun. Ugh. I listen to Linkin Park and repeat. That? Sorry, you was ugh. Something like that, yeah. But yeah, that kind of struck me. Not so much of the enjoying dueling part, but the, line. The feeling like you have to win part. I feel that too sometimes. How come? I've been compared to my mom all my life, surrounded by all of her achievements. And I believe she wants me to be just like her, a successful duelist, a national champion. So what Blake said, you could relate to it. Not necessarily that, it's that Blake spouted out so bluntly. In a way, I denied it to myself. You want another hug? That'd be nice. You give good hugs. Who doesn't like a good hug every once in a while? Sometime later. You ready to go? Apparently we're getting our first assignment today. Never guess, it's a trip to Xyz! Really? Oh, let's go then! Some interdimensional travel later. Meh, they got portals at the end of Arc 5. Fuck it. All the legendary planets were stolen off screen. Welcome to my home, everyone! The Synchro dimension! Wow, this dimension is beautiful. I can't believe you grew up here. Oh, I wish I grew up in the streets like this. I grew up in a ghetto. Oh, we'll be exploring that next episode. Wait, what? But that sort of stuff is for later. For now, Quinn, what's the assignment again? Right, so for this assignment, each of us has to duel 5 duelists from this dimension. That should be easy. Heck, we don't gotta win, just duel. Precisely, though we do get bonus points the more duels we actually win. I already have my sights set on some people. Don't you dare interrupt me when that time comes. Don't worry, Blakey, we weren't planning on it. Good, and do not call me Blakey. Whatever, Blakey. Okie dokie, Loki. I'll stick with Dahlia. Quinn, you go have fun by yourself as requested. Well, bye. Alright, Dahlia, let's go have some fun duels. Right. Wait a minute, Dahlia could just duel her like 5 times in a row. She's from Synchro, it would count, technically speaking. Next time. My name is Pink Lightning, and I'm the second best bounty hunter here. Heard y'all were looking for a duel. You down? I can't do Amy Rose. Let's duel! Episode 4, Pink Lightning Strikes Twice. But we will not be doing that next episode, we will be doing that next week. But anyway, yeah, we are set up with some interesting things for Dahlia in the fact of, like, her deck not having to switch decks, but this is something that Spooky actually improved upon in Resurge, because even back then in era, I'm like, why? Why do I need to change decks other than because the plot says I have to? Like, even in Vanguard, they gave a reason as to why the main character switched decks. I didn't agree with that decision, and I dropped the series as soon as they switched decks, but there was a reason. His deck just got magically switched with something else. And there's probably more lore reason, but, you know, that, again, stopped watching after that, because it was like, oh, look, all that hard work and effort we went in through for the first season, gone. Now you gotta use the shiny new toy. Anywho, but we're not focusing on that. The point is, Dahlia did improve her did switch decks, and it was improved upon in Resurge, specifically Chapter 2, which I don't think I'll be revisiting in this, because I guess still gonna catch up with Ob first. Maybe if I catch up with Ob at some point, then maybe, but for Chapter 2, I'm not rereading that again. You can check out the original reading. But what happens is that Dahlia's deck, her deck doesn't jive with the deck. It's like playing a completely different art style or something like that. It's like being an artist your entire life and then being told, now play the guitar. You can't. I mean, she can make the deck function, of course. It's just that the optimal plays are just escaping her. It just she does not work with it. So that was heavily improved upon. Also, Ori doesn't exist. But because Ori just kind of felt, I don't know, maybe Spooky just felt like it was an extra thing, but it's also kind of like, hey, asshole, I've been working fine with this deck for years. Why are you telling me to drop it? Because you said so? Like, we'll never know more about what Spooky's plans were, at least not, like, officially. Like, I'll probably know something behind the scenes, but yeah. That's kind of the main gist of that scenario. I wonder what could have happened if Era had continued, but that's a case of we'll never know. Resurge has its own ideas and its own execution. It's sort of like the heritage to the original Hungry 7 in a way, where it's like it's a remake and sort of like the movie series reboot, but it's its own thing at the same time. It's similar, but not the same. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. But anywho, yeah, as for the episode itself, it was fine. Everyone looks around for Dahlia. Dahlia's talking to a dual spirit, explaining change your deck now. Why? I said so. No. Okay, well, I'll tell you later then. And then I did like Dahlia and Elena having that nice heart-to-heart. Then they don't get a lot of scenes. We focus mainly on Dahlia and Quinn, and then Blake being Blake, and then Elena by herself. But it is nice, genuinely, to see the characters interacting with each other. That's the main thing you'd want to see in a cast of characters like this, a big group of people. Imagine having a group of characters and then separating them all the time. God, that would be so annoying. Or having a group of characters and then just having the same pairings over and over again, and not having like some new ones every once in a while. Again, that would be annoying and hellish. But, you know, that would just be wacky. Another detail that I forgot to mention in the initial reaction is this also brings up one of Dahlia's more interesting traits that sticks throughout both versions. She has a bit of a complex where, because her family puts so much stress on her basically to be the best, that, well, she feels she has to be the best. Now, I don't think that's, at least in this version, it's like, oh, honey, you have to be the best. After all, you're the daughter of the Duel Queen, essentially. But I don't think her mother would ever force that upon her. But when you have a lineage like that, you know, so many great expectations, that you feel like if you don't do that, you're a failure. And Dahlia has that sort of feeling. Similar to the Charles Dickens novel, Great Expectations, which sucks, but that's another story itself. Literally, it's a book. But anywho, yeah, she has so many expectations that she feels she needs to be the best duelist ever, which is something that can, you know, so she can never lose, and it's something that she shares with Blake. Of course, Blake's is much more severe, where it's like, if you lose, you die, and Dahlia's is, if you lose, you're a failure, which both suck, but one kind of sucks more than the other, obvious to say, because at least Dahlia won't die. At least, you know, from how it seems. Anyway, but that is something that keeps on in Resurge, where she feels like if she doesn't win, she's a failure. And, well, it's an interesting trait to say the least, you know. Otherwise, yeah. It's just something that gets brought up in this and kind of areas on, so just figured I'd bring it up here, you know, don't let it get forgotten. Obviously, you don't need to win to be a failure all the time, but also, obviously, winning feels good. But, yeah. I just wanted to bring that up while I could. Back to the thing. As for the episode itself, it's fine. But as Spooky said, it is kind of give ideas of rush, because it's incredibly short. The models aren't on the screen for a while. I mentioned that that's because of the hug, but still, it does feel kind of quick. Although I did like Ori's model, just a glowing ball that's spiraling. When you got a bunch of static images, motion is kind of stands out. Kind of proven by the Awakened and stuff like that, where it's like, oh crap, they're moving now. What the hell? They can do that? And yeah, pretty much that's that. I do like Ori's model, and I can't really complain too much about seeing a dual spirit. It's a weak point, but it's one that's effective. But yeah, I can see why Spooky doesn't like it, but it's fine. But that's the end of this episode. It's a short video, so this might as well be short too. So I guess for right now, I'll thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see all of you next time. Blake doesn't care anyone except themselves, and that's their own right. Later!